Yes, 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 yes. What's going on, everybody? We're back for a special Ooh Ladies First Panel. Okay, roar of the crowd.
Surprise.
Surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
Okay, how are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Just amazing.
Feeling good,
Looking
Lewis.
forward to Christmas.
Aren't we all? I want to
Yeah.
open you guys presents. I'm super excited because I still have
I
stuff.
know. Did y'all get mine?
I have
I
not
picked yours
gotten.
up tonight, Necey.
I have not
You
gotten.
got it today?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So yours is probably there, Bondy.
Oh, you sent mine to my PO box.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I gotta go. Cause child, I don't know why. I guess cause my card, expired, and so it declined for my PO box automatically. And I was like, I gotta go up there. I'm gonna go up there tomorrow. Cause I'm gonna go up there tomorrow, and hopefully they ain't sent my shit back. Cause I'm gonna be upset. But they probably held it for me. But anyway, in my life. So let me tell y'all what happened and why we're here. First of all, we have to bring attention to the fact that Jaylee is not here. Okay, our fourth member is not here because this was short notice. Okay,
We
and
are
she
the
had plans.
collective.
Yes. Okay. She had other things going on, and this was like a last minute thing where I was watching Necey's video on Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I was just like, we need to talk about this amongst ourselves. And I wanted us to really talk about it. So, Jay Lee is probably, gonna be in the chat at some point. She's here in spirit. We wish she could have been here, but it's cool. I'm not gonna act like I'm bothered because I'm not, but I am, but whatever. Um, I'm just playing, girl. I know you needed your 2 weeks off. Okay, it's okay, girl. But girl, we got a lot to talk about. Not a lot, but a little bit. Cause I feel like at first I was like, this is gonna be two things we're gonna talk about.
Let's
And
get on
then,
something down the moon.
girl, so look, let's let's start. Let's start here. All right. I hate that this covers Jamie's face like
It's
that.
okay.
Y'all know we're usually for the four
We
box.
used to the 4 setup.
Listen, yeah, slide. Come on, slide down.
I hate to see it.
Listen, we ain't gonna keep these up too long, girl. I had to make these graphics like in the last 15 minutes, so y'all not gonna judge me like that because this wasn't like a show how we normally do our shows, okay?
Right.
But either way, we wanted to talk about Devon and Meagan. After 9 years of marriage, you guys, they called it quits. He filed for divorce, and everybody is speculating about why. I've heard, they just grew apart, church girl, secular girl. Like he wanted a church girl, and she's so secular. People felt like that. Other people felt like maybe he wanted kids and she did not. But I feel like all of those things are things that should have been understood before the 9 year marriage, especially since y'all waited the hunch. So if y'all waited the hunch, then all of these things should have been talked about. So can I ask y'all, do y'all think they really grew apart? Or do you feel like it was just never going, it wasn't never gonna give what it was supposed to give?
Oh wow. I felt like it was. I always thought it was giving what it was supposed to give and was going to continue to give. I think they could have likely just grew apart. I wonder about like Devon, because at one point he had like a list when he met Megan, right? So I wonder if he felt like he was compromising a lot in that relationship over time. Because he also said like an actress would be somebody he would never date, and she happens to be an actress. She smoked at one point. He didn't want nobody that smoked. I think she could have stopped. I don't know. I would think that she stopped. So I feel like I wonder, because they felt like God really brought them together, right? Under whatever circumstances. It makes me wonder if he went throughout this relationship probably feeling like he had compromised a lot. Only to get to a place where it's like, you know what, we tried, I thought if we had a child, maybe I would really want to stay, but we see that's not happening. I mean, it could be a number of things. I feel like a lot of stuff that's out there right now is just pure speculation. But I didn't see this coming like a lot of church folk and other folk feel. I never saw it coming, especially for you to do this 5 days before Christmas. Girl, what's the real news about what's going on?
I think I agree with you, but I feel like even though he filed I don't think that he would have done this. I think this is probably something that he feels like he had to do because they want different lifestyles. I feel like the Megan that we knew from back then, she was not gonna be the pastor's wife or the author's wife, whatever y'all want to call it. Because I don't need an author. Anyway, she was never gonna be the pastor's wife. And I feel like she probably tried to do like what was right. I feel like we see a lot of women who like go through something and then they turn to something extreme to try to see a difference. So we see women who go through a bad relationship, then all of a sudden they turn to celibacy and they think that that's going to be like the end all be all, that's going to fix everything. And I feel like that's probably the space that she was in when she met him. And for a while, it seemed like the juice was worth the squeeze, the weight, all this other stuff. And then ultimately she found herself saying, okay, even though I've done all these things right by the book, this may not be who I truly am, because all of her posts now seem to have this like freedom type of tone. Even the way that we seeing her out and about at parties, I think now she is no longer repressing who she thought she should be. And now she's redefining herself. And that doesn't align with what he wants. So I feel like he probably felt like he had to release her.
You know, that's a great point that you make, Necey, because a lot of people don't understand when you're following that path of like God and religion and Christ and all this other great stuff, right? When you're following that, you deal with, to me, so much turmoil on the inside with trying to stay on the straight and narrow and not go out and do other things that you may think you may have a great time doing. Whereas Megan, she's been in that world and then she's been walking this straight line for a long time. It's like, that's a great point of, this ain't me. This is not like, I miss doing X, Y, and Z. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's a good point. I can imagine what type of turmoil he has been going through that could have been projected and put off onto her. And because she's his wife, she felt like she had to be in a certain type of bottle or whatnot. So I
feel like they probably always knew this was the difference between the two of them, but they both tried to cause as least amount of friction as possible. Like, y'all remember years ago that video went viral when he had to go off on somebody for basically talking bad about her having like sexual pictures out.
Yes.
Her clothing.
So I think that her clothing, yes. So I think they always knew this was going to be like one of the biggest challenges in their relationship, but she seemed to be on the same page as him. And I don't feel like they're on the same page anymore. So he like, go ahead and free yourself.
Okay, so I've been worrying about Megan ever since we was worrying about her bleaching her skin. And all of that was going on. I think that the marriage has been having issues since that shit happened. I don't know why, but ever since then, I started to see them together less and less and less. Y'all remember she put out the video saying that she just, her dermatologist or the esthetician she was going through gave her something that was making her skin lighter. Like ever since then, it's kind of been like, what the fuck is going on with Megan? And then when Harlem came out, I was like, oh shit. They not staying together. I had already kind of paid attention that I wasn't seeing them together, and we would see Megan, but see Megan by herself. And then I forgot who it was that drew attention to the fact that she wasn't wearing her ring at some point. But when Harlem came out, I was like, yeah, it's over. Because had anybody seen Megan play in anything like this since she's been with this man? She was a sex symbol.
No.
And that completely went away. Even when she played, like she's been playing in like thrillers and love stories. And, I think Like a Man and all of that. But it's all been this very...
Oh, I've seen it. Damn, I can't think of this. It's a movie on Netflix that she played with Lorenz Tate. And it was really good. I cannot think of this movie. I'm going to look it up.
You talking about... I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. Lorenz Tate.
Is he like the drug dealer, and then whatchamacallit's in it too? Lance Gross.
Deuces. Yes. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I've seen that and never sat to watch it for some reason.
Yeah, but, she had a good sex scene with that one.
Somebody said she is not bleaching. Listen, honey, I know she said that the esthetician gave her something that was lightening her skin. So whether she intended to bleach, that could be up for discussion, but she absolutely bleached her skin because she also talked about having to get back to her regular color thereafter. So that was definitely a thing. And a lot of people felt like that's what she would, that's what she was trying to do. And when she noticed the backlash, it was like, all right, let me stop. I don't know if that's the case, But what I do know is I hope that she finds herself for real, because honestly, to see somebody that grew up in the industry, they have a strong personality, proud of their sexuality, owns who they are, especially as a young woman, to see her then marry a pastor, it was kind of like, girl, this don't look right, but okay. And then like the confines that will constantly put on her as a woman, because I feel like any young woman would feel pressure from this lifestyle of being with this man. So I feel like after a while that pressure just became too much, to fit into that box for him, because I don't, like you said, I don't think that's who she really was. And maybe she thought that's what she wanted, but 9 years in, it's like, yeah, no, not so much. But we want you to be free so you can give us good content, because you don't give us as good a content when you in a relationship, seemingly.
True. I will say this though.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this. Miracle.
Girl,
Ma'am, you gonna have to
be on
watch
the
your back.
lookout. Be on the lookout.
Listen to me,
She
because
gonna
the
take
way,
your man, girl.
the way that chemistry
Oh,
was
I was
on
like, what are you
camera,
talking about? Miracle Watts.
yes,
Yeah.
the way that energy was on camera for me, I was like, yo, bro, I was like, oh, I wish they could be together in real life, but oh my gosh, she's already married, he's a great guy, whatever. But the chemistry that was on camera made me feel like I can imagine what it felt like watching it. Because it was so like that character that she played in Harlem, to me, when I've watched like interviews and things that she's done, I feel like this was made for her. Like it's a true character to how Megan.
That's who she is. Like
it was like an honest.
It's very close to who she played in Think Like a Man too. Like, this kind of young, beautiful. I know I'm sexy, but I'm not really that sure of myself. So I'm easily swayed by strong men. Like that type of mindset. So I feel like she might be stronger than that in real life, but there's still some level of truth to that personality.
Yes.
Somebody said, but didn't he post Harlem on his page? That doesn't mean anything.
He did. And I felt like for me it did. Like 2 weeks ago, the reason why it meant a lot to me when I saw it and I realized I got gooped yesterday was because I was hearing the rumors that they were split.
So you thought that meant he was being supportive?
Yes. I was like, girl, bye. They are still together. Y'all talking about these rumors and stuff. Girl, bye.
No, it's the church man in you to pretend on the out. I mean, maybe not pretend. She said that they were amicable splitting, they were happy, they were cool. But that'd be bullshit. Like at the end of the day, when relationships break apart, I don't care what nobody say. It ain't always like, how you gonna make it seem as if y'all still love each other? It's all good, but this is just a different stage of our relationship. That might be true ultimately, but it sounds like bullshit to me. It sounds like, let's pretty up the fact that we've been fighting and we are no longer getting along and we don't want to be married anymore. But he could absolutely be doing the united front thing in public. Like, I'm going to support what she has going on. She's going to say, I'm a great guy and we still love each other and we're going to keep it cute. But it's still what it is.
It's funny to me because when he promoted Harlem in comparison to actually watching Harlem after it dropped, a lot of people felt like Harlem had a lot to do with it because you did this 5 days before Christmas, bro. So
y'all really think that mattered? Y'all, because I heard you saying that y'all really think like, him doing it so close to Christmas like meant something.
I feel like y'all been together for 9 years. I feel like why not get through the holidays like with this person, especially if y'all do this post and y'all talking about how it's forever love and all this other stuff.
That's how you know they don't really like each other. That's how you know it's fake.
Exactly.
And also the fact that the statement came after the filing. If this was so amicable and y'all was on the same page, they would have made a statement then
file. Come on.
I think it was a surprise. I'm telling y'all, I feel like their relationship has been in limbo, and this Christian man has been waiting on her to find her life and come on back. She ain't came back, and he like, you know what? I'm just go ahead and file, and they dropped that statement.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just saw a comment in the comments that kind of annoyed the fuck out of me. I'm gonna keep going, child. Anyway,
I see it. You see it. It's a question. Yep.
Yeah, like that annoyed me. Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
What kind of shit is that?
Like, you don't know what people got going on.
You know what I mean?
That's not cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, I see it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's move on, child. We done with this? Y'all have anything else to add to the Megan Good, Devon Franklin situation of it all? No? Okay. Well, in
I
order
wish
to
him the
not
best.
like get violent with people in the chat, let's go ahead and move on. Girl, this came out right before we came up here. Nene, who is this? And why it look like he got his thumb in his mouth? He don't, but
Good
he look like
night.
a baby. Who is this? Do
It's
we
Britt's
know?
friend.
Listen, let's look at some video. I got some video of these too. Let's take a look, see right quick, right fast. So this is them. They were playing music. They were in a club, but this is Nene and whoever this guy is with this terrible cell phone footage. Who you pointing your middle finger at, bitch? What drug is you on? She on a drug, y'all. I am mad. What type of drug? Is it designer drug? Let me know. Girl, not the middle finger. It's the middle finger for me.
It was her
We
finger
just
in
saw
his
her.
cheek.
Right. We just saw her with Peter. And now I'm being facetious, y'all. He looked like Peter. Okay. And now she over here with, as Jami said earlier, Brent's friend. Like, why is you out here with Brent's friend?
It's kind of hard to decipher when this image was taken, considering Nene's signature look is like a wife beater with some fatigue type pants and heels all the time. So it's hard to be able to know, like, is this a throwback image before you met Neone or whatever, or is this recent, like as of a few weeks or a few days ago? It's kind of hard to tell.
Gossip in the City put this shit out. They put this shit out like it was brand spanking new.
They did.
Can you play it one more time?
I can play
Let's play Investigator.
Girl, I'm looking at this picture like they in a bed, but let me play it again. Girl, why you leaned over? At first, I was like, I hope she ain't sucking no dick. That's what I thought at first. But girl, oh, real ass bitch, give a fuck about a nigga. Big Birkin bag, hold 5, 6 figures, stripes on my ass. So he call this pussy tigger. Scheming on you rich ass, scamming ass niggas.
Girl, he's scheming on her rich ass, scamming ass. That's what that is. That's scheming on her.
Okay.
Oh my God, that is crazy. I hate to see it. I hate to see this. Like, Nene, you've already gotten, unfortunately.
Nigga said, is that young and me?
Oh my God.
Oh, that would call me off guard. Ooh. Go ahead, Jami.
Oh my goodness. I just hate to see it. She just got released from Real Housewives of Atlanta. And
I said it was giving
your
Wendy.
husband passed. Yeah, I just don't want to see you go down bad like this.
Oh,
it makes me think of Whitney Houston a little bit. Remember how she started connecting herself with like younger folks like Ray J and whatever? Like,
girl,
I think Necey, I think you said that. I don't know. One of y'all
I was saying that backstage. And a couple weeks ago. You talking about a couple shows ago?
No, in connection to Wendy, her actions making you think of Whitney.
Not
when y'all would see her out with other people. Like, it's all like in the same arena. I don't understand it.
She's spiraling. She's spiraling.
Especially when she was out for the count. Oh, you think she was out for the count? She all in his videos and shit, so she had to know. Scamming who the streets is saying Nene is going broke. Ooh, not going broke.
I don't think she's going broke.
Ooh,
I hope not.
I'm sure Greg had a good insurance policy.
I'm sure he did. And plus, on top of that, I mean, even her bar is doing very well. This is what it's
and
giving.
I'm sure she getting residuals. Stunt queen.
It is stunt queen. That's exactly what it is. I wish I could tell when this picture was taken. I really do, but she's spiraling. Like I'm saying, she's grieving. This is grieving. I guess she like, I ain't had good young peen in a minute, but I'm gonna go get it. And that's what she did.
She can do that. Why you gotta take pictures with the nigga though?
That's true.
She was on something. You could tell he was. This is a city boy at his finest. This is a city boy, and he was taking all the pictures and videos with her. She was under the influence and let him do whatever he wanted to do. Because, I feel like her main mission was simply just getting young Peen, because that's why she was so off guard on letting this young man film her. Because if it was Nene, she would have had Freddie O taking professional pictures.
Okay.
That's how she like to set up her stunts.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Now who child Nene kidnapped, bitch? I am dead, y'all. Child, listen, this is all I see. She wants back on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Clearly.
Why are y'all eat?
Bring,
Girl,
get
she
your
ain't gonna get
mama.
on there like this.
Not long back. She does have a
And I
long
bet
back.
they didn't even have sex. Cause why do Nene still got on her signature look in the bed? It looked like. Why you still got a tank top on in the bed? I bet they didn't even have sex.
She got
I
bronze on
bet.
her face too.
Right.
Why
Girl,
would you bet
nah.
they didn't, Necey?
I know.
Just because I just don't think they did. Just because
Girl,
she
look
has
at
a
it.
tank. You can't tell me this woman had sex with a tank. Hey, this woman had sex with a tank top on.
You don't? Old
Girl,
bitches
he
do
had
that.
one with it.
Old bitches get banged out in tank tops. Okay, I know you might be too young for this. And this is why I'm saying this, okay? Because back in the day, girl, you was definitely out here getting fucked in a beater with no brown. I'm just telling you, like it was a thing. Like I can remember often getting fucked in beaters with no bra. So listen, don't let the smooth taste fool you. If you wearing a beater, you might get banged out in it, and that's all she wear. That's how look. That's how you know Nene was in her prime in the early 2000s, because this is the era I'm talking about. The early 2000s was the era of wearing beaters with everything. Okay, you got jeans, you got a jacket, there's a beater. You have a blazer, there's a beater. Okay, you have on slacks, there still might be a beater. It'll be cut off, but it's a beater. So yeah, I feel like you're feeling this way because you're young. But old hoes, they get fucked in whatever they had on. They don't even feel like taking their bra off. Honey, I got makeup on. I got my wig on. If I take this bra off,
Just slide the
The
panties to the
wig
side.
make
Just
them
slide
wait.
through.
come on, slide the
The
panties to
wig.
the side is what we say. Girl, listen, y'all better know that I got fucked in some white beaters. Okay, not in a jean miniskirt. Girl, go to hell. Not a jean miniskirt. Listen, so is Necey. Necey's 27, but see, Necey was protected as a child. So during this era where we was doing these types of things, like wearing drawstring ponytails and wife beaters with jeans and shit, she may have been like in middle school, so she wasn't paying attention. Do you see what I'm saying?
That's true. My sister was wearing the wife beaters. Don't know what was going on in the cars. Okay, I have some stories when I was in the cars in high school, so I understand. But what I don't understand is if you have the time to get into a bed to have sex. That's what's weird to me that you still keep some clothes on. Like I understand if it's a quickie and you like in a car or somewhere like that, but
But
if
why
you
stop
laying
when
down in the bed the way she knocked out, it's like if you that comfortable, you should have came out that tank top.
she was on drugs, girl? It was drugs and alcohol. It was just like, oh, daddy, yeah.
You right,
You
because
know,
you just end up where you end up when you
yes,
yeah.
and it looked like he took advantage of her being fucked up like that because them eyes is closed, girl. You look pretty when you
He
sleep.
texted his boys. He said, "Nigga," he said, "I got Nene Leakes."
And his homeboy like, Nene Leakes. I'm sorry, she's not a baddie. Like that's no disrespect, but like the young niggas ain't out here bucked up unless these the young niggas that's homosexuals and looking for somebody to take care of them. So it's like, oh, did she give you some money? That's the next question. But this is just embarrassing for her. I want her to do better, but if she don't want to do better, that's on her. So y'all, let's go ahead and move on. We're gonna get into the TBT. Okay, so this is a part of the TVT. This man may look familiar to you, even though you may not know him. He may look familiar to you because this is one of the Scott brothers, and all of them is look alike. Okay, this is Maurice and Marceau's brother Mark. Okay, now word on the curve from the reunion show, and we're gonna talk about it. But word on the curve from the reunion show was that this man here slept with Miss Van. Okay, had a whole sex tape. Well, guess what? On the reunion show, they denied it. Now Marceau came up behind and said they absolutely had a relationship of some kind. And Martell was like, "You were driving 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours to go and see him. Something must have been going on." You know, everybody trying to throw Miss Van under the bus. I don't know why. I don't know what that does for y'all to throw grandma who watched the kids under the bus for being a hoe when she a single woman. But okay, that's fine. He came out with a whole statement saying that he lied. I'm not about to read it to y'all because it was a whole bunch of bullshit language. But in the message, he basically said that he's sorry for playing with Miss Van like that. He took advantage of the situation. He was looking for a come up, and he don't know a man that doesn't cheat. And I think that includes all of the brothers. Okay. Now, Jami said Miss Van had hopped in, okay, the DMs and clarified some things. So I want Jami to tell us what she had said in the DM.
Oh no, that was about something else completely.
Oh, that wasn't about this?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay.
That wasn't about this. No.
Okay.
That was about in reference to her being like a side chick to Mel's dad. But that was like, not regarding this at all.
So wait, did she clarify that? Because that's what they were saying, right? They were saying that Mel was like a side baby.
No,
Martell said that.
No, she wasn't. I have to go back and look at the comments. I don't. Yeah, he didn't want to, like, when they were messing around or whatever like that. I don't think he was married at the time, but the ultimate thing was that he did not want a child. So that's what ended up happening. She had Mel and she went on about her business.
And then he got with somebody else.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So it wasn't all right. Because I was wondering about that because Mel does seem like either older or the same age. Because I know she got that brother. So I wasn't sure what the age situation was.
And that's where it gets a little confusing for me too, considering when she sat down with the sister, that sister looks like she's much older than her.
I thought both of them were older and Mel was the youngest. Like that's how I thought it was. Mm-hmm. But I mean, Miss Van may have more information. Y'all gonna have to get Miss Van down here to the ladies first panel.
Yeah,
so she can talk to us because we want her. Mm-hmm. Okay, Miss Van, come through. But either way, back to Mark. Okay, that's his name, right, Mark?
Yep.
When I read the message that he put out, I was just kind of like, why are you saying this now? Like, you let this shit skate for years now, and now you want to come out and say something? Like, it just didn't even make any sense, especially since what difference does it make? Miss Van is not anybody's wife. She doesn't belong to anybody. Whatever she decided to do, that was her business. This man was not married to anybody from what we understood at the time. So I'm just confused. And also, is he the one that was married to, no, it was the Scott sister.
I was just about to ask y'all.
Okay. Yeah, it was the Scott sister's ex-husband that Kaya married and got with. Child, y'all nasty down there to the Scott family. I just want y'all to know. And bitch, you can come all up and through my DMs and come all up and through my comments, and I'ma still tell y'all nasty. Okay? Nasty.
You know that statement. When I read the statement, it reminded me of, when Kanye came out a few weeks ago apologizing to Drake and he was looking like he was under duress. That's what I saw when I was reading this statement from Mark Scott. What I thought was interesting was at the reunion, even though Mel and Miss Van was on the same page saying they was just friends, they allowed Marceau to have the last word when Marceau said to everybody, they most definitely had a relationship and everybody here knows what's going on. Either they stopped the editing there, or either Marceau had the last word. And I think Marceau had the last word. But regardless, like, who cares? Like we said, I mean, the part 3 was kind of weak. I don't even know why we spent time talking about Mark Scott, who we ain't never seen on our TV. So I'm just like, I don't think they had a sex tape. Do I think they had some sort of relationship more than just, hey, acquaintance? Yes, they did.
Well, I want to believe what Miss Vanessa said, that they was just friends, but as Bondy mentioned, a lot of older people refer to somebody that they seeing as just they friend. Don't know how far that went, but I think my issue with him more so was him admitting that he did it for relevancy. Like, I did this so that I could, have a moment of being relevant. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. It gave me, you really jealous of your brothers and you wish you could be a part of this platform. Why you trying to SH out on their parade? Then you over there attacking your brothers, to be honest, because you brought Kaya onto whatever little IG thing that y'all did to talk about one of your brother's wives. And then you sit up there and you also sit on your video on your live and then say, I haven't met a man that I know that's faithful or something like that, knowing that 2 of your brothers, at least the ones that we know, are married to women, which is crazy because it kind of like you kind of, to me, affirm what Miss Ariane had been out here saying anyway. So it's a yikes for me. But yeah, I mean, it could be possible. You know what I'm saying? It could have been a friends with benefits type of situation. Not sure. I want to believe what Miss Van is saying, but Mel was kind of giving a few things away that made you side eye a little bit when she said something about going to a hotel versus going to his house. I was like, not a good look. But I mean, I guess I appreciate him coming out to make an apology, child. But I wanted him to address the SEX tape directly and say I lied about the SEX tape, and I feel like he didn't really say that.
Ain't nobody dropping 6 hours to talk, like one of the comments said.
That's why I don't ever watch that shit.
Somebody in the comments said, yeah, ain't nobody driving 6. Shelly Dennison, you ain't driving 6 hours to talk. I'm in agreement.
You are absolutely not. You driving 6 hours for some dick, in my opinion.
Girl,
okay.
Get it how you live, Miss Van. Do what you gotta do.
Okay. Listen, all I'm gonna say is ew, cause ew. Miss Van should have gave him a Leah. Are you that somebody prep talk? How dare he keep Granny low key? What? I think she wanted to be low key. Honestly, I think she didn't want nobody to know her business like that. Most older women don't want nobody to know their business like that. But I honestly feel like at this point, they might as well bring all these wayward ass Scott brothers on so we can make a fool out of them, because they're making a fool out of themselves on social media anyway.
I just hate that the Scott brothers are the only ones in Huntsville. That's the thing. Hi.
It must be, girl.
One of them small town. It's one of those small town things where it be like a gang of them in the town. So it's like you really can't avoid them. That's how everybody end up being second and third cousins in every single small town.
Yikes. Well, it has been put out there, and I feel like I saw some of y'all in my chat saying Lindsay, and I'm wondering if no, that was Love at the Lockup. This is another Lindsay. Apparently, child, this is what somebody put out there. Now, y'all know this is alleged. We don't know if it's true because Marceau said y'all always lying on him. Okay, but it says the facts are this is the employee that Marceau was having an affair with at Monaco. Her name is Lindsay, and she currently works for Scope. She was pregnant when she was sleeping with him, but it's not his child. These are all facts. How do I know? My boyfriend worked there when they were going in his office having sex. Well, a lot of us feel like this is exactly the type of white woman that Marceau would mess around with. And I don't know about y'all, but have y'all seen him respond to this? Because usually when he thinks it's bullshit, he comes out with some cynical response. I'm ready for the response, because he'll come out with I feel like he got on Instagram a few days ago and talked about something else, and it was like, we don't know what the fuck you're saying, get off the line. But see, this right here, where's the message? Have you haven't gotten online yet with a paragraph to tell us how this is some bullshit? And I know this is just a picture, y'all. This doesn't prove anything. But for me, I feel like we all know it's somebody. It's not Tisha. So it's somebody. I'm sorry.
That's crazy.
You said it's not Tisha.
I'm just saying he didn't bring Tisha to Africa. I'm just saying he don't look like he running home to lay up in between Tisha's warm thighs. He looked like every time he's tired. So
we already know Miss Wanda has hit a line with this 2 seconds after it hit the internet. So Marceau already has some type of explanation, as he always does. So it's very weird he hasn't came to the internet streets to call this piss like he usually says.
Child,
that's insane.
I don't know why, but that looked like it looks like the type of white girl that would love to sip from his fountain. I feel like this is why he was saying that ain't the one. There are women out there that are totally okay with playing it back. There are women who feel like just the fact they get to get on their knees and suckle from the big black dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, but there are black women like Ariane who feel like that, because she got everything to say until Martell calls her and tells her he's coming over there, and he puts his dick down her throat, and then she shut up, and now she ain't got nothing else to say. And where'd the YouTube page go? But see, this right here, these white girls, they not even in the same circle. They're not in the same circle. You ain't got to worry about them meeting at the same clubs. You ain't got to worry about them seeing nobody. You ain't got to worry about it, because it's completely outside of your friend group, of anybody that would know you and all of that. So for me, I'm looking at the situation like this actually might be what it is. I think it's more than one. I absolutely still think it's that hairdresser lady. Okay, because why the fuck would you even get on Instagram Live with them and his wife so that you could say, no, I'm not sleeping with him. If you really wasn't sleeping with him, I'm not about to get on Instagram Live with y'all to prove I'm not fucking your husband, girl.
Oh, you talking about the hairdresser? I was about to say, I know this white girl did not address the Black community on this on network shit.
I think it was her. I think it was Londa, whoever her name is. I think it was her. I think he's had a few, and I like Martell said, 20 different girlfriends. I think you've had quite a few during the years, and some of them, you have them come in and you send them on their way, and others stick around because they'll be quiet, like a white girl who just wants to be happy to fuck on some black man, or Ariane who just wants to be happy to fuck on a black man that another woman had, because we know that the spice for y'all too is now dwindling down. I think it's funny how now that he's no longer with Mel, y'all may be seen together, but there's nothing hot and heavy about what's going on between the two of them anymore. I feel like, because if it was, why he not posting her? He should have posted. I mean, why wouldn't your new baby mama, who you are pushing into the position of woman and wife, why wouldn't she be standing next to you while you hold y'all little baby at the photo shoot? Because you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? You know what it is. That shit is dwindling because she was only fun when she was the side chick, But see, this situation, Marceau is waiting to leave Tisha. I don't know what he's waiting on. But to me, I feel like Marceau is keeping somebody in the wings that he absolutely intends to leave Tisha for, or just to leave eventually. But I feel like he's not the type of man that will leave and be single. He's going to leave and go into the arms of another woman.
I don't think Marceau ever leaving.
You don't think so?
Marceau ain't never going to leave. No, he's told us many times how he believes that marriage is an institution. I think that he's never going to leave, but secretly, if she left, he wouldn't be mad.
Okay. The only reason I feel like he might eventually leave is because I don't think he's happy with her at all. Like, she's the one that will stay and suffer and suffer and suffer. But men, a lot of the times, eventually, they'll just be like, okay, well, I got something else that I would rather be, he'll come home like John and Bernadette on Waiting to Exhale. Okay. I was thinking she shouldn't be alone, and why should she? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I've seen that now. I've seen that, and I know exactly what you're talking about. That just made me so happy because y'all know I don't have all my movies.
But listen, I'm glad you
checked off. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know about this Lindsay girl. Like this, I mean, it could be true. I'm not sure. I need more too, and I
want more. So if y'all know more, please hit us up. All of us have DMs and we're all open to listening. But that was one of the things I thought about, was that the reason why he would stay with Tisha is because, from what they said, Tisha, her name is on all of the loans and all of the business because she probably had the better credit. So it makes me think that the reason why he stays is because he feels like he doesn't necessarily have a choice because of how the financials are set up. And Necey, you are right. If he never plans to leave, it's because he knows he can do whatever the fuck he want to do and still have her there. So she's going to have to be the one to decide if she wants to stick around and be miserable. But what I see the most from them is that they're not into each other. They're not into each other. And that's sad to me because I think Tisha is beautiful. And I think it's sad for a beautiful woman to be with a man that is tired of fucking her. Because that's what it gave. Do y'all remember that scene when they took the trip and she was sitting on his lap in the hotel room and he was trying to talk about everything except fucking, and she had the lingerie on, y'all, and he wasn't even looking at her? I was just like, girl.
Yeah, there's a strong disconnect here.
These two are so interesting to me because everything about Tisha, something just gives the vibe that she's always been somewhat of a pick-me. And I feel like she's the perfect wife for a man like Marceau because they ain't never gonna leave. She's good to build a future with, build a family, build a legacy, as they call it, and that's all he really wants. So it's sad to see, but I feel like she would have ended up in this situation with any man, regardless of if it was Marceau.
I see Tisha and Marceau continuing to, even if they're not happy, ultimately, I can see them continuing to be together as long as this show is around. Because one thing about Tisha, I think she has this thing about herself of wanting to kind of like prove people to not be right about her marriage and her life and stuff. So I can see her hanging in there. But let's say the show went off in like 3 years. I see 3 to 5 years after that, a divorce actually happening because she really wasn't you know what I'm saying, happy, but she saved face for TV.
Right. I think she's absolutely holding on to prove everybody wrong. And that's sad to me because you are so unhappy. And the only reason why people don't want y'all together is because you look so fucking unhappy. If you were happy, nobody would be running to tell you to leave your husband with 3 kids that's taking care of you and y'all household. Even if he is an asshole, ain't nobody gonna be running to tell you to leave that man unless he dogging you out. He not even cheating on you, but he treats you so bad that people feel like, oh my God, we want to stop seeing the suffering. But I wanted to ask y'all this, switching gears. Next season, they didn't discuss a lot of the things that happened this season. And one of the things that I noticed was Maurice and Kimmy. Y'all, when we interviewed Kimmy that last time, I felt like there was a level of, this is fucked up. I know it's fucked up. I can't act like it's fucked up, but this is fucked up. And then
absolutely,
yes. And then when we get to the reunion show and you find out that not only has he been around that side chick, but he lied to you about it, lied in front of everybody, was going to keep lying about it, and then told you that he's never going to be the type of person to walk away. He's never going to be the type of person to have the integrity that you wish he would have. Now, mind you, y'all, I don't think anybody's leaving trips, walking out of clubs because one of their partners is doing some fugazi shit. Like, they're not going to, most people aren't going to do that, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. Like, you can do what you want to do, nigga. I'm not leaving a trip. I'm not leaving a vacation. I'm not leaving a bar. None of that. I might look at you and be like, now, you know you ain't shit, right? And if your wife is my friend, then she might get some tea from me. But ultimately, you know, I'm not, nobody's doing all of that for other people's marriages because people just be into their own shit and nobody has time for that. But I still feel like Kimmy, when they were sitting backstage, y'all, and Kimmy was just stirring that food up, you know, it was something that felt like this shit is about to go bad.
Did we interview her before they filmed the reunion? I feel like we did.
Yes, we did.
Because a lot of the things that we mentioned that she couldn't agree 100% on, where it was that vibe, like Bondy said, where she was like, I know it's fucked up, but I can't, you know, convict somebody on this interview. I felt like she made some of the same points that we made when we were questioning her in the reunion. So I was like, okay, you see what we see. That's real interesting.
It is interesting.
I really love me some Kimmy, right? But at the same time, some part of me feel like you kind of brought a little bit of this on yourself by feeling as though it's okay for your husband to not have like certain conversations with you about stuff. And I feel like it just expands from Monster to other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Things that he may witness. I mean, it would make me just kind of like question how honest you really are. But I think Kimmy is okay with that. She's gotten in the nature of operating like that. And then she kind of said that, you know, you compromise a lot or something like that. She said when you married to a Scott. It's like she excuses it because he's like a Scott.
Compromise.
I think that's when she felt like he wasn't going to embarrass her like that. Like, it's one thing to keep things from me that I can find out about later, like the monster situation. But to find out that he was lying to you like that, and then could so easily, no, I've never seen her. I've never met her. No. And then your brother come up right behind you. Yes.
Because Marcel knew that picture was going to get dropped. So he was, like you said last week,
he knew he had told Tisha that shit. Him and Tisha had already talked about it, which is another reason that brings me back to the reason why Mel, you know, a lot of people felt like Mel was trying to ruin Tisha's marriage. But I personally feel like she felt like, bitch, you in my face acting like your husband ain't doing the same thing my husband doing, when the only reason why you know about this is because your husband had to give you the preemptive talk because you're the most insecure out of everybody, meaning that he had to go home and give her a little bit of information so when everything else came out, she wouldn't do what Kimmy is about to start doing, which is questioning what the fuck were you doing when Martell was there with the side chick? Because everybody will wonder, why would y'all feel comfortable doing that around each other? I'm going to tell y'all right now, the only reason Martell felt comfortable bringing Ariana to that guy's trip is because all of them niggas had brought a side chick around him before. You can't tell me no different, including Maurice. And Maurice with his hat to the back, talking about he don't remember, he didn't see their interactions. You are lying, my nigga. You are lying. And your wife knows you're lying.
And if it wasn't side chicks, you know, especially with Maurice being single at the time, I think Maurice just brought around a series of different women.
Mhm.
So obviously, I feel like the homeboys created a space to where what Martell was doing was absolutely okay. So he just continued to do it. Nobody, like as a friend group, really held him accountable. True enough, a person gonna do what they want to do. But you know, I don't think nobody really held him accountable as a friend, and they just continued to rock out because they all was on the same wave. Another thing I want to say about Kimmy next season, I don't know how much of an issue is going to be next season because I can see Kimmy kind of like making an excuse. I hate to say the word, but making an excuse of it's whatever, you know, that's old. That's old because if you ever pay attention to how Kimmy has conversations with Maurice, she has very delicate conversations as though she doesn't want to end up having a blowout argument on camera. Have y'all
Eggshell.
noticed that?
Walking
So
on
yeah, so
eggshells.
I feel
Extremely
like she's
delicate.
gonna let it roll off her back. So I don't know what that's about.
And
I
that's
felt
so
like that
sad to me.
conversation with Monster was delicate about her not knowing. It's like, it's no way you could tell me that you didn't have more questions or more intensity in this conversation. She knows. She's very emotionally intelligent. She also knows how she comes off on camera. So she was like, I ain't gonna press it because I don't want people to make it more. Well, I was gonna say more than what it actually is, but that's not the right wording. She doesn't want it to be revealed for what it is.
And see, that's the thing. Like, you know, we see it because we've already started to pay attention to the way Maurice rolls. So now, with this being said, okay, he may have been single back then, but the way he lies, to me, it just means that he just might be smarter about the way he handles himself, especially when you think about this season. We're talking about the job, being the other woman, and all of that shit. Just like the gym, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, they have a lot of metaphors and euphemisms for the shit that I believe they're out there doing. You're not working that much. And all of y'all niggas, y'all are entrepreneurs. And you mean to tell me y'all can figure out a way to go and take guys trips for Marceau to go to Africa by himself and leave his wife and children at home, but you couldn't figure out a way to have a vacation with your wife. And this nigga couldn't figure out a way to have a honeymoon with Kimmy? It just makes me feel like y'all should have wives to be home to wash y'all clothes and cook for y'all and fuck y'all at home and create like this anchor at home so that y'all can go out into the world and do whatever the fuck y'all want to do. And at the end of the day, if everybody agrees to that, then that's fine. But something makes me feel like Kimmy agreed to a relationship with somebody that was going to be open and honest and that was beyond that part of their lives. And I don't know if Maurice really is. Because you're still lying. You still lying and you lying about shit that don't have nothing to do with you. So what did you lie for?
I have a question.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Jen.
What are y'all thoughts about Mel? I saw in the comments somebody say that she's fake. What are y'all thoughts about that? I believe they feel like this reunion kind of changed their view of Mel. I want to know you guys.
I was not bothered at all. I was not bothered at all that she stopped talking to the people on the show after filming ended. Because Carlos at the end, he said something about this show has been amazing. You know, we get another season. And it was so much joy when he said that. But I couldn't help but think about how successful the show has been based on a lot of the challenges that Mel went through in her life. So it's very easy for Mel to want to separate the two because that shit turned from real life to entertainment. So she has to retreat and find another space to create her real life that's not being filmed, that's not for entertainment and for us to talk about. So I really wasn't feeling no type of way at all, especially with Destiny. Destiny even moved differently knowing that things were filmed. So maybe a genuine friendship that they used to have, they no longer have. Even when it came to the divorce, she didn't want to tell Mel nothing. And I'm sure that probably had something to do with the fact that they're in the media. So things probably changed. And for that reason, Mel still has to retreat to some sort of real life. And I'm not mad at her at all for that.
Me neither. Like, I didn't really see where she did anything wrong to be kind of fake this episode. Go ahead, Bondy.
No, I was just about to say, I got my AirPods in, so I wanted to make sure the sound still sound good right quick. But for me, I feel like I don't think Mel is fake. I think people like to call folks fake who make decisions based off of their own self-interest. Like, why is she fake? I need to understand, like, why is she fake? If it's because of old girl Destiny, I personally feel like Destiny was asking for too much. Like, that party was about Mel, and you made it about you and your village, and wanting Mel to agree to allow you to be her village so that you could feel like the relationship between the two of you is more equal, because you really are only cool with her because you have something to gain from it. Like, just be real. And that's what I feel like. Cause like, I mean, didn't they say at some point, y'all, they made it seem like Mel and Destiny have been friends for years or some shit. But then like during the show, I feel like Tisha pointed out that they had only known each other since she came on the show. Was I the only one that heard that? Am I tripping?
No,
Let me know.
I heard that too. Yeah,
Okay,
Tisha said that. Tisha said when Destiny got on the show, that's when Mel started to like make their friendship like stronger. Like they didn't start being like friends until Destiny came on the show. So I don't know, but I don't know, because the way Sadari came into the Barrett came onto the show was like everybody had like a history and a background and being familiar with each other. So is it that Destiny really did know Martell and only was cool with Martell, but never really got a chance to be cool with Mel? But that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, because she definitely took Mel's side in the argument.
Yeah,
but that would make sense.
It would.
That would make sense just based on. I saw a comment where it said everybody on this show has betrayed Mel in one way or another.
Yes,
and that would make sense as to why she's giving Tiffany so many chances. Tiffany is fresh. Tiffany has not wronged Mel in the same way that a lot of her castmates have wronged her and also benefited monetarily off her pain. So I think that's why she probably gave Tiffany so many chances. And that would make sense as to why her and Destiny started off so cool, because Destiny wasn't tainted yet by being on the show. Now that she is hiding her tea and spilling Mel's and trying to hide behind the shield, she like, give me some space.
I've been saying this whole time that was the reason why she let Tiffany off, like, because Tiffany came into the picture wanting to spill everybody's tea, and everybody had been trying to hold their shit to the vest while allowing Mel and Martell to be, basically the circus act. You allow for them to be the circus act, make fun of them for it, and then rely on them as it pertains to this show, because when it came time to talk about y'all tea, nobody wants to say anything. Like,
to the super chat. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. I'm not at the computer right now. I'm coming back.
No, they just said, Abby says they just mad because Mel is putting up boundaries and people can't respect boundaries when it doesn't benefit them.
Ooh, that's true.
100%.
That's true, because I feel like that's what she did with Destiny's ass. And honestly, I'm not mad at her, because I felt like Destiny was doing too much. If you ask me, Destiny was doing too much. So, about Destiny, they didn't do a lot of talking about her, but then we saw this picture of her and Kimmy's son. And people were saying it was at the reunion. I was wondering, do y'all think they might actually smash? Do you think she might smash the young boy, Jalen? No?
I don't think so.
I don't know, child. The way Jalen had his hand on the small of her back, I just was like, what's this? Because it was the way his hand was on the small of her back. I was just like, it looked close. It looked real close. But it's cool if they don't.
The way Destiny was entertaining him, I feel like everything Destiny does is motivated by her trying to distract and deflect. You out here trying to play in our faces like it's hot girl summer and like everything is all good. Girl, you're not going to tell me any woman who get divorce papers 3 weeks after delivering somebody's child. She really came on the show in the entire season. It was like nobody's going to care about your sad story. It was very much like, I have no feelings. I can't be hurt. I'm moving on. I'm flirting with Jalen. This is a whole new me. I feel like that was her motivation behind it all. And it's just all fakery. She ain't smashing that little boy.
Okay.
No, boy.
I'm glad you said that. Destiny and Tiffany, what do y'all think? Because me personally, I feel like I still don't understand. Like, I get at the beginning while you were upset, but I feel like y'all actually sat down. Like, she was like, oh, we never had a chance to resolve it. I was like, y'all did. Y'all sat down and had drinks. and talked amongst yourselves without Mel around. And it seemed like everything was cool. And then after that, it seemed like y'all still beefing. So is it just me? Or do it really just seem like Destiny was just jealous of the fact that she felt like Mel was letting Tiffany, just get away with things versus actually having a real issue with Tiffany?
She really jealous of the fact that it seemed like to her, when you start feeling like you on the outs with a friend, it makes sense that Destiny, because y'all probably not talking as much, right? Because Mel probably reevaluated the fact that you ain't share your divorce with me, so are we really cool? And here it is, somebody like Tiffany that's new to the cast, she's starting to, take up for her more and probably even hanging with her more. I think she got more than just jealous of the fact that she's taking up for her. I think she got jealous of the fact that they were actually getting closer in a position that she thought she probably was supposed to be in with Melody.
Right. Thank you, Abby, for the super chat. I appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Devin. I thought you was already a member. What you doing? Anyway, so okay, hold on. What did it say? Destiny and Tiffany mirror each other. That's the problem. But Tiffany is more flamboyant, and Destiny is more nice, nasty as far as how they present themselves. You're right.
Absolutely.
You absolutely. I didn't even think
Transparent
about
as
that.
mud.
Not as
Right,
mud.
exactly.
Girl, as the cement, bitch can't see through none of it.
Nothing.
The other thing I wanted to talk about is I know everybody loved Carlos as a host, but the misogyny, a little bit,
Towards Mel, when he was
towards
saying that she could have
Mel.
been better or something like that, or she wasn't enough or something like that.
She wasn't enough, and I also feel like he was hyping Ariane up because I think he really wants Ariane on the show. I think he really wants Mel
Or
to.
catering to was he hyping
You think
Ariana or
so?
catering to Martell?
I think it was the latter, Martell.
It might have been Martell, but I also feel like the way he was talking about Ariane is trying to create the space for her to come on the show. Like, I know Mel does not want that, but ultimately, if Mel has an Atlanta show
Okay.
or flies to the side, then at the end of the day, the gradual progression would be for us to see Ariane at some point. So I don't know why, but it just made me feel like Carlos was really trying to create that narrative, that space that he was all in love with her. Because I think if they legitimize the relationship between Ariane and Martell, then people will be more open to seeing her on the show. And as a producer, I feel like Carlos sees that that's the gradual progression of the story to now bring her on. And even though it's not what any of us want, at the end of the day, what else are y'all going to do? Because everybody else is tight-lipped about their shit. And then Mel and Martell are no longer going to give y'all this. They're not going to keep doing this is over. So
that is the thing for season 4. Like, where do we go from here, Deborah Cox? Like, what are we doing next for season 4? But I don't want to see Ariane on the show. I will say this though. If he were to bring her on, you ain't gotta legitimize no relationship. Her spot is legitimized already with this child that he got with her. So we're just merely gonna be seeing Martell navigate this life of co-parenting with Melody, as well as with this other lady that he co-parenting with and possibly still smashing on the side because she's not yet, the main.
definitely still smashing her.
But yeah, like I mean, we'll see. I don't know why everybody yearning for her to be on the show though.
I think you just convinced me, Bondy.
I think they should let her on the show,
absolutely
honestly.
see that.
She's gonna embarrass herself because she's ignorant. She's a bird.
Capacity.
If they
I
bring
don't
her
want to see her on the show. I'll take her on Zeus.
Not on Zeus. Child, Zeus doesn't care. This is the only place it matters. And just like she was talking, I'm talking to other networks. Girl, nobody cares outside of Love and Marriage Huntsville, is what I mean. So honestly, I feel like we all think it would be so bad, but if she came on the show, y'all, she would embarrass herself because she is a bird and everybody's going to compare her to Mel. So she's going to come on the show and be Martell's woman. And we're going to see that relationship disintegrate because now you're going to be the main. Now you're going to have to deal with Martell all the time and not just the Martell that is letting off steam from his family. So I think they should bring her on and let her embarrass herself.
If she came on, it need to be in the capacity of Mama Holt. Because we see Mama Holt a total of 5 minutes out the whole season. So I I'll probably have to deal, girl. Whatever Carlos give me, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, not a lot.
Because he gives TV, he gives it to us. But I wanted to say, as far as her talking to other networks, I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I do believe that is a lie, Miss A. I say that because the only relevancy you do have is connected to the host. But when they're already in contract with another network, then who are you really talking to? So if that's the case, then you must be talking to OWN with them potentially considering bringing you on for the next season. And if they do, I mean, I feel like even though Melody has the title, right, executive producer, she brought the show. I don't know if that's for vanity purposes or not, but I think if they brought her on, I think they're gonna soft launch it when we see her in a small capacity to see how we respond to it. And she's never going to film with Mel ever. And I feel like if they ever try to put them in the same vicinity, she's gonna be leaving the event quicker than she had Tisha escorted out of hers. So
it'll make for good TV for Martell to constantly be trying to get everybody in the same room at one time for the kids.
That Porsha family matters.
For the kids.
Oh gosh. Y'all remember when we talked to Mel? I think we asked her about Ariane coming on the show, and she told us that OWN Network does not support that type of thing. And I've heard from a lot of things on the internet that OWN Network, or I think it was Carlos who was explaining the show. He was explaining that he had to make the show about construction or something like that. And then it kind of just turned into this drama because OWN Network didn't want to align themselves with anything that seemed like Love and Hip Hop. And they still don't want to do that, which goes back to what Bondy was saying, which is why he was trying to get Martell to clean it up. Because if they brought her on in a respectable capacity, which was you just started a relationship while you were married, then, people might absorb her better is what they were getting at. I felt like.
Also counting on the village of side chicks that love to feel emboldened or, you know what I'm saying? Like this, exactly. OWN does not support the Side Chick Society of America, but the Side Chick Society of America, and they come, and those women still want to see themselves in some capacity. A lot of them have, aligned themselves with Ariane. I mean, it's sad, but they've aligned themselves with her because they see themselves in her. It's the same thing with Miss Wanda talking about the side chick need to make sure she getting what the wife get. It's like, girl, that's the literal definition of a side chick. You're on the side. You're not going to get what the main course get because you're not the main. You're the side. Hello. That's the
observation for OWN. Not OWN. Hi. Stop saying that you're not trying to align yourself with Love and Hip Hop when you guys have had a number of things on your show where it looked like Love and Hip Hop. Hey, Iyanla Vanzant, when the little girl went off on you and was ready to fight and throw hands, and other individuals have done the same. In addition to what y'all be giving us on Ready to Love, we enjoy it. We enjoy it, but
Word on my head.
Still Love and Hip Hop-esque. Right.
Stop playing Love and Hip Hop like that in TV Gold. Stop playing them like that.
Right. So I just feel like, and it's sad because I feel like I'm actually slick. I sound like I'm advocating for Miss Girl to be a part of the show, and I don't really care to see her.
Because we're about the show. That's
we'll
why.
Take her on Zeus.
Yeah.
We'll take her on Zeus. I'll pay my $5 and watch.
I'm already paying my $5. I don't want to see her by herself. I want to see her. I want to see Martell go to the apartment, talk to her with the baby, them discuss what's going on with them. There's an event. He wants to bring her. She don't know if she should come. The other people don't know how they feel. Oh, Mel might be there. He brings her. Oh, Mel had a business opportunity. She couldn't make it. But, here come Ariane around all the girls.
Oh, y'all. Okay.
How you know where Destiny had to sit down with this girl?
And she would to deflect from her own shit.
Martell brought her into Destiny shop.
Ooh.
I have to ask y'all about this question, about this picture Martell dropped. Did y'all get the vibes? Like Martell was trying to do everything he could do in that photo shoot to be an asshole, but the one thing he didn't do was hold both of them babies in his lap at the same time. Ooh, what was crazy to me was that the youngest baby was on the floor. She about the same size as your number 5. So why not have both of the babies in the lap?
On your lap.
But
same thing I said.
He knew Mel was gonna light his ass up
for having them babies sitting next to each other.
I have to in his
Can't sit
defense,
next to each
let me
other.
defend Martell real quick. What if the baby didn't want to be in his lap? What if the little girl, when he
I
tried
don't
to
see
stick
that.
her in the lap, was like, "No, let me I want to sit down," because she see her sister standing up, or her sister's up. Maybe she wanted to be like them and stand up.
I'm about to pull this picture in. I forgot about it, but I'm glad you said that, Necey. I'm about to pull this picture in, and we're gonna talk about this, and then we're gonna move
I
on to
feel like
Porsha.
that was the one thing he knew not to do. Mel might have let you do this family photo shoot, but that was the yes.
Okay. I'm saying I really he put out a video. Yeah, I'm mad at how small it is. But if y'all watching this on y'all TV, then it's different. But either way, y'all see it. When I first saw it, I was like, why is the little girl down here on the floor? And he posted a picture and video on his stories. Basically of all the kids smiling and laughing. Like everybody was having a good time and shit. And I'm like, honestly, I feel like even if those kids, because they're kids, are laughing and having a good time with their siblings and dressing up and doing a photo shoot, that does not mean that them kids aren't having a problem. They're not having issues after everything that has happened in y'all family. And why does the little boy not have a shirt on? Can somebody tell me?
I don't know. The baby looked like he had been crying, to be honest.
Thank you for the super chat. Love you back. Happy holidays.
Thanks, Scotty.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Oh gosh, it is holiday season.
Girl, listen. I don't even have a Christmas tree this year, so it is what it is, girl. Good night.
Not crazy. It's just on the
Thank
tree,
you,
just
Ronnie.
unwrapped.
You could tell by the look of the other kids' face, they did not want to be in that photo. Thank you, T. Ronnie. But that's what I'm saying. That's how all of us felt. But he posted them smiling so that we would know that the kids were happy too. And I'm like, they may have been happy, but I still feel like based off of what we know, it ain't that happy, dude. Because you let that little girl find out, pulling up to the restaurant. Stupid ass.
I wonder if this is the first time they met the kid. I bet it is.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I think they met by the grandma house.
Live. Yeah, he went live, and I don't know who house he was at, but all of them were like playing or whatever. So I feel like they probably have met. Now, how much longer prior to that, I don't know. I don't think they met that first day though.
I probably feel like the little girls were probably more upset about Ariane than they would about the baby, because they just see a little baby and they see their little brother. Absolutely. So they might have brought the baby in first and not Ariane. So the kids are cool with the baby as long as Ariane isn't there, especially the oldest daughter.
I feel like Boss Baby is the one to me that gives the most honest, truest, I do not care reactions. And I feel like if anybody is upset, like she would be, I feel like the other kids would probably be like, la, 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 la. But her, I think she'll call him out, like for sure.
She might have smiled. On her mind. In that other picture, she might have smiled, but her posture did not change. It was... I'm just saying, y'all, when you sit on the floor like this at the photo shoot, you ready to go, and you just here for your check. To go. Okay, that little girl was there for her check. Okay, look, they wanted to go play. Them kids didn't want to be sitting up there doing this fugazi ass photo shoot with you, so you can act like you the best daddy.
Like they already did it. Like, we gotta do this again. Yikes.
Remember, we used to just do these one time when you were with mommy.
Child. Right, they like he got us up here on some bullshit. What doesn't mean normal?
Y'all, let's move on to Porsha. And this is the last thing we're gonna talk about, y'all. This ain't no, buku long show, but we did have some things we wanted to come together and discuss about Porsha, girl. First of all, I'm gonna tell y'all, I feel like we're having a disagreement about Dennis. Cause I feel like the fact that everybody felt like because Porsha is there with Simon, that means that Dennis should be able to bring his work to the trip.
Now, because it was her family trip,
I don't.
Because I see it both ways though. Because it's her family trip, like that can be perceived as hella disrespectful. Because it's like, this is my family, and you're gonna bring this woman on this trip with my family. But at the same time, she likes to stage it as though it's about Pilar. So when she says that, it makes it different for me because Pilar don't even know who your fiance is for real. So why can he not bring somebody? So I think that's where I see it for both sides.
I agree with
The
that.
only thing. Oh, go ahead. Respond to Jami, and then I'll jump in.
Okay. I was just gonna say I agree with that, but the only thing for me, and this is what I keep going back to, is that at the end of the day, the reason why Dennis and Porsha are not together is because Dennis couldn't stop fucking other people. We know that even if Porsha did whatever they said, because I feel like they're gonna try to make it seem like Porsha was cheating on Dennis, and I feel like Porsha probably cheated on Dennis after Dennis cheated on her. But at the end of the day, I feel like the reason why they're not together is because Porsha is hurt behind the fact that you can't just be with her. And then you come on this trip and you want to bring somebody. And I feel like the wound isn't even healed yet. She just told you at that dinner at the beginning of the season that she was still upset about you cheating on her. So I feel like at the end of the day, if we're really not trying to do no bullshit, if we're not being on bullshit, Dennis, then come on a trip for 2 days and then take your ass to another hotel with your old girl. Like, why did everybody keep telling everybody you're going to bring a girl and all of that? You could have just been there for 2 days and then left. And then went to another hotel and been there with your spug and let Porsha find out through the grapevine versus you actually bringing somebody like on this trip who you know you don't really fuck with like that. Because regardless of the fact that don't nobody know Simon like that, she is still engaged to the nigga and, you know, he's around way more than whoever, you know, the work is. So I just kind of feel like at the end of the day, why make an already fucked up situation more fucked up when you the one that cheated on the girl in the first place? I understand look, hey, please don't talk to me like I'm stupid. I'm not lost. I'm not lost. She's
you thinking from like the principle of it. Like
Yeah.
you thinking like why be on bullshit? But I can't even wrap my mind around that level of maturity because you said the wound ain't healed. And I'm like, well, what is you doing, Porsha? Like, I don't give a fuck about Porsha's wounds because I feel like this is one of those moments where it's like when you go low, I'm gonna go to hell. And I'm in the business of that for Dennis. I feel like she was on bullshit. She's engaged, but she's simply wearing a ring while getting to know this man who's married. And the only thing that I will disagree with is Dennis trying to bring this girl to the family dinner. Now, as far as the girl being on the trip, cool, fine. Y'all both want to scheme and play games? Fine. This is all about co-parenting and mixing strangers into your children's lives because Simon is simply a stranger and you trying to play this about co-parenting. Well, if you wanted to co-parent, you would have put Dennis, Simon, you and Pilar on a trip and that would have been that would have been peaceful. You in the business of starting mess, making sure that this man's life is a living hell, and I would be in her face like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna take this work to the room. So I'm all for Dennis doing that.
I'm not, because I feel like Dennis fucked over her when they were together. Even though she's with Simon now, he's the one that was like, you still mad about me cheating on you? Like, I just remember Dennis being a complete and utter asshole to Porsha when they were together. And now everybody's like, yay, Dennis. And it's like, but why?
I feel like with Dennis though, and for me, in defense of Dennis, I feel like with Porsha like to get carried away. She just found a person that's gonna get carried away with her. I feel like Dennis kind of pushed back with her because she already knew what it was, but then she always tries to change a person's perspective or try to manipulate them in a little bit. Yes,
she wants fairy tale so badly, y'all.
The reason it makes sense is because of the dudes that we've seen on the show prior, and Dennis was one of those dudes that was bullheaded and not willing to give her what it is that she wanted. So I feel like that's
and
just,
she knew that
a little different.
And she knew that because Candy tried to tell her when he had all them 50-11 tattoos on his arm.
Candy tried to tell her about both of them. Candy tried to tell her about both of them from what we understand.
Right. So I'm like, I just feel like Dennis cheating was not out of the scope of his character when she met him. However, Porsha picking this random dude and deciding to play in our faces like y'all actually gonna get married and then try to justify the stupidity by acting like this has something to do with your daughter was just much crazier than Dennis being a cheater. And for that, I'm like, why are we entertaining Porsha doing this? So I guess if she want to be on bullshit, then I'm like, Dennis, you be on the bull. Dennis is on his regular bullshit. Porsha is on some.
She's trying to out bullshit him. She's trying to out bullshit, out petty him. And honestly, when I think about it, like that's what I think about. Like at the end of the day, I think about the dynamics of their relationship. Bump Dennis daddy. Because at the end of the day, we all know what Dennis daddy is. Dennis daddy is a way to make Dennis jealous. That's really all it is. They have no real chemistry. That man gotta get let in your fucking house. Like you kiss him with just the lips like this. You with Dennis daddy to make Dennis jealous. And that's why bringing a girl on a trip, I don't care what y'all say. When they told her that he brought a girl on that trip, the reason why that girl got quiet is because her feelings was hurt. You can tell she got hit in the titty with that one. Oh, that's
I
what
would
he
have got hit in
did.
the titty a little bit
Okay.
too. Like, damn, you
That's
bring
what I
them all the
said.
way in Atlanta, then you got the nerve to bring them out the country too.
And it's 4
Like,
days, nigga. You could not fuck with
like
some work for 4 days. Like you could have brought.
Mama
I'm just
Gina
saying
was
there was
loving
so
it though.
many. But you know why? That don't make sense to me. She was loving it, but then she was one of the first ones. Like it's not. That don't mean it's over. Like she wanted Porsha and Dennis to be together. Remember, she was one of the main ones at the table crying. So
But
I'm
see,
just.
in Mama Gina defense, I feel like y'all know I gotta come with a defense, right? So I feel like with Mama Gina, if that's what she probably loved it because it would make Porsha jealous, so that she could see what she's missing out. Because he's also sitting there being jealous and seeing what he's missing out on. And sometimes when you go apart with two different people, it kind of makes you come back together. Because the one thing that's definitely gonna make them come back together is Pilar. So that's why I think she probably enjoyed that moment. But I don't know, because I also feel like Mama Gina don't like her for real.
She don't, but I think she noticed. I think she knows that Porsha is good for business. I don't give a fuck about that girl's birthday. I'm sorry. Let me say that. I don't give a fuck about that girl's birthday. That ain't got nothing to do with Porsha's Family Matters. Because at the end of the day, Dennis could have had his work at another hotel. Hear me. I'm not saying he couldn't have shared the Mexico trip with her. But what I'm saying is, don't come on the family trip with Porsha. It's only 4 days. Get your own arguing with Lauren. No, bitch. I'm gonna get my own room at another hotel. Period. I'm not arguing with you about that. He didn't have to keep telling everybody he was gonna bring somebody. Like it just seemed like a lot of bullshit where everybody trying to act like Dennis is not as petty as Porsha is now because Portia's on big bullshit with the Dennis daddy thing. I also feel like a lot of y'all think y'all still view Porsha as a husband stealer. Like I seen so many people when she was plotting on her castmate husband, and I'm like, I wish y'all stopped saying that. Fallon had another nigga's baby in her womb, okay? Another nigga's baby in her uterus in the same time frame that Porsha and Dennis were fucking around. Everybody's fucking everybody. Just to be clear.
Yeah,
Fallon
I
is
don't
not
see
a
her as a
victim.
husband stealer. The part that kills me is that I see the desperation that you grabbed a man that was just close in range with money. That's the main issue for me. You grabbed a man that was close in range with money, didn't give a fuck about what the optics look like, and then tried to make it make sense to us by talking up him being a stepdad. I'm like, girl, like who cares about Fallon? The Fallon piece don't care, but it's like you just wanted somebody close in range. You couldn't have found nobody else bald belly with money to
She
try to
still
play in Dennis'
plotted.
face with.
I don't care. I'm sorry. I don't care. You can't take a nigga that don't want to get took. So y'all being mad at her for plotting on a man, like that's again going with this energy that the nigga had no control over himself and Porsha was just plotting on him. No, like Necey keeps saying, Dennis' daddy is a city boy. They were plotting on each other. Okay,
They both
each
benefit.
other. Now let me tell y'all,
Right.
because I've been reading. Y'all know I had read some more Porsha's book to my members today. Let me tell y'all what I read. This portion was about her and Cordell and about the miscarriage that she had during she had fibroids. She was pregnant, she had fibroids, and they basically told her the baby gonna die in 2 weeks, so just go home. And yeah, basically. And she asked Cordell not to leave, and Cordell still left her, and she ended up miscarrying at home alone. And that kind of stuck with her, right? Cordell was very controlling, absolutely. But you could see that Cordell saw Porsha as somebody he could control. Cordell saw Porsha as somebody who he could put in a place to make him look like the perfect family man so that he could get custody of his son back. Because Porsha's crazy ass like really views herself as like happily ever after. So I'm gonna be the perfect wife. And then y'all, the way she kept tying her spirituality and her religion to being a wife, it was very sick to me. Like I'm sorry, but the way, I worshiped, and when I was reading it, I kept stopping because the wording and the language that she uses, it's almost like she puts being a wife and a man in the same place as God.
Mm.
And that is very fucked up, because then she, like, this is what she said. She said, I was in the club and I'm walking across the club, and then boom, I hear the voice of God. And the voice of God is asking her, why are you here? You need to leave here so you can help people get to me. Now, this is around that time when she started evangelizing the people and all of that shit. She was doing whatever her mom, had got into the church real bad. So she got into the church real bad, and she was all in the church. That's all I did was go to church and go home, go to church and go home. And I prayed and I told the pastor I wanted a husband, and boom, I met Cordell. And so Cordell wins her over, but they kept with the fighting and the fussing because Cordell was always trying to control her. Where you at? What you doing? Who you with? Screaming and hollering. They would break up, make up, get back together, and then they ended up getting married. And Cordell actually used his ex-fiance / baby mama's ring to create Porsha's wedding ring. I was like,
a resourceful man.
Recycled the ring and gave it to Porsha. Also, he was hiding Porsha for a while. Like, that's another thing. Y'all didn't make no sense. She basically said she figured out that he was hiding her and he was still in somewhat of a relationship with his baby mama because she went to his place, which she found out was across the street from hers. Had no idea that he was living across the street from her in another, an apartment complex across from hers, right? So she goes over there to his place and he has roses on the table. And like the dummy she is, she runs up to the table thinking, oh my God, baby, flowers for me. Why would this man have flowers for you sitting on the table at his house? And then she reads the notice like, thanks for everything. And she was like, these are from your baby mama, right? Now, in my mind, that doesn't even make sense. I feel like Cordell, honestly, I think Cordell is bisexual or gay. And I think that Cordell had nice flowers on his table because Cordell liked nice flowers on his table. Same reason as to why she was like, when they bought the house and got the house, he wanted to control everything they did. The curtains, the sheets, everything. I'm like, that's because Cordell wanted to be a part of the design plan. Okay? Like, as I'm reading it.
Was she married to Cordell when she was in the church trying to deliver people from being gay?
I believe there was like that was happening, and then Cordell happened. So yeah, around that same time, because she was with Cordell because she believed God told her that he was supposed to be her husband. And even though there were all these red flags, see, that's what I be talking about. Like people who use God to validate stupidity. So you're talking about church and God and all of this. I found myself and I knew God would love me for me. Like evangelizing in the book. It's bullshit, y'all. If you read the book, it's such bullshit. But she's evangelizing about God. But the way she's talking about it, it's like, well, if you were actually having this relationship with God that you say you have, we wouldn't be where we are right now with you and Dennis daddy.
See, I think it goes back to what Porsha has always done, and it kind of made me think about the Meagan Good thing. I feel like people get to a point in their life where they reach some sort or some point of desperation where they start dating for check boxes. And you seek somebody who you think is going to fulfill all the things you're missing, like some sort of security, some sort of reassurance, some sort of pureness or cleanseness. And they just find somebody who checks boxes. And then you meet these men who simply just want a wife that's pretty and a wife that's going to be submissive, and they roll with it till the wheels fall off and eventually they fall off. And then you end up being like Porsha and this Girls Kissing Girls on Girls trip after you was just, condemning all the people in the church. But we all evolve, okay? I'm just saying eventually the wheels going to fall off.
Which makes me feel like that's another reason. I think she's lying or not wanting to talk about Cordell's sexuality in this book, because I feel like you're like the things that you're equating to cheating. I feel like, no, ma'am, he's gay. He's gay and you're a beard, and he knew he could control you. And that's why you're a beard, because a lot of the things that he was doing to me just felt like shit that a gay man would do. And he just didn't want you to perceive it that way. And then you getting up there to evangelize. He wasn't a church person, but he would come to church with her. He was doing a lot of things to make her think he was the guy. And then, want to control everything and want to know who she, can't have a family coming over to the house. Like he isolated her. So I'm trying to understand, how did they get to that conversation on Real Housewives? So I'm gonna keep reading. But the last thing I read about was her having that miscarriage by herself. And honestly, I thought that shit was so sad. That was the saddest part to me, because I was like, I really do think that Porsha pretends to be this happy, self-assured, bubbly person, but secretly down low, she is very sad, and finds it hard to not be sad. But I also feel like, like a lot of people are saying, where's the discernment? Like, the way she was speaking about God, it made me feel like you don't rely on your own intuition about things. Once you think God is telling you something, you don't, rely on your gut. You just kept ignoring all of these things. And I feel like she put that fantasy and God in the same box. So happily ever after and God are the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the mindset
For a lot of people.
Right.
For a lot of people. And that's the scary thing, because a lot of people, you often find like women in the church. Like it was this little millennial church I was going to down here in Dallas. I didn't get involved in all the like resource groups and the after church stuff. My sister did, and they had mixers. While all the girls, a lot of the girls, not all of them, were there simply to find a husband. It's like people identify their insecurities or their need for something, and they have to turn. That's how people get involved in cults. Okay, I can go talk about that, but that's how people get involved in cults. You try to find something to fulfill a need for something, and that's exactly what Porsha has done in all of her relationships. Like whenever she sat on that floor talking to Miss Diane, 2 seasons ago, talking about Dennis, and she said, "Oh, he ain't got no kids. Oh, he own a business. Oh," and her legs were spreading further and further. Right. Every single time I see Porsha talk about a man, it's just boom, 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 boom. Simon. Oh, I don't care if he married. Oh, he gonna treat me right. Oh, I can make Dennis jealous. Oh, he say he got money allegedly, but he really don't. Like, I hate to see
it's
it.
It's never a real connection.
Never. And it doesn't have to be for her. It just has to be the solution. And when I saw her on the Tamron Hall show, she said something about how the fans were disappointed. And she was like, "But you don't really know me in real life." And that made me think that she has always pretty much put on to be the fun and bubbly girl. Like you said, Bonnie, she wants to be the fun and bubbly girl that everybody likes. But it's sad. Something missing. Y'all join Bondy Book Club. I'm gonna have to listen.
It is something missing. And like and it's so funny because like as you're reading the book, you find that she is doing a lot of this grandstanding and she repeats herself a lot of grammatical run-on sentences. Girl, it's a lot. But ultimately it feels like somebody that's trying to convince everybody else that she's figured it out, when it's obvious in the pages that she has not. Which brings me to Aunt Liz. Child, if anybody is letting y'all know that this shit ain't what it was supposed to be on this show, it is Aunt Liz. Y'all, do y'all think that this show was supposed to be about her activism? Because remember when the summer when she was doing the activism and all of that, she was supposed to be getting the show. And then we just knew the show was coming, and then all of a sudden it became about Porsha's Family Matters. I really think she always was supposed to get a show. And then they decided to make it about this Dennis situation, because a lot of people think that, the only reason she got a show was because of Simon. No. That show was already in the works. They just changed what it was about, which is why Aunt Liz was on here like, who the fuck are these people? Why are we not talking about the civil rights movement like we were supposed to be? And who the fuck is Don? Like when she was sitting across from Don, like, I don't know this man.
And that's probably why Lauren threw her that weird ass Black Lives Matter party at the finale of Real Housewives of Atlanta. That was supposed to be like the precursor. I didn't realize it.
Not to be that way, child. It's a shame. So I think that Dennis and Storm fucked. Period. Why would you keep hiring her back?
That's
what was confusing for me. Now Dennis has multiple locations, and I saw that on his page after he and Porsha. Porsha said some things about him. I went to his page, looked on his story. I didn't even know Dennis had half as many locations as he has. it's more than 10 for crew. So now when I thought about it after I did my video, I said, yo, did he hire her and give her a chance at different locations? I don't necessarily believe that they smashed, I just think that Storm is mad.
You think so?
Mad.
I think
Her
they
wanting to be
did.
Miss Porsha.
I think they smashed. The energy is way too heightened, and he gives it back to her, which it'd be different if he ignored her. That's why I said at the table, like I said, that I felt like
talking about
that was
who like to piss people off now.
no, yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, he was saying shit to her sometimes when it was just unnecessary. There was a moment where everybody was like arguing, and he picked her out of everybody to say something to, like, Storm, shut up. And I'm like, Londi and them was already telling her to shut up. Why did you have to come in? And then he's in the confessional talking about, yeah, she was saying that I was trying to flirt with her, and then we found out that was a lie. He keep trying to, tell the story before the show tells the story about Storm, and then Storm was like,
Yes.
I would never fuck with him. He too old. I'm like, girl, you a bald-faced lie. That nigga ain't too old for you to fuck. You was a city girl. Ain't no nigga out here too old for you to fuck when you trying to get a bag. When you trying to get clout. Looking at Mama Diane, Mama Darlene, and you tell me that y'all do whatever to get that bag, to get that clout. So for me, I feel like, go ahead.
Especially her saying like, oh, I saw that Porsha and Simon vibe. If you feel like Porsha and Simon really up there vibing, why would you sit up there and then say that Dennis is too old for you? But you felt like those two had a vibe. When Simon is way older than Porsha. But I also feel like the reason Dennis likes to call her out, the verdict is still out for me on whether they smashed, is because he fired her and she went and started talking mess about him to Porsha once he and Porsha started dating. She was like, I can't believe you dating him. He done sat up there and fired me. So she was trying to throw salt on his game. So I feel like that's why he be like coming at her head about stuff.
I don't think that's okay. My ears perked up. My ears perked up whenever a Dennis Storm storyline even came on this show, because like Bondy said, it was random as hell. I was like, okay, and why do we need to know that she worked for you? And then the other thing that I was confused about, like Bondy said, was why was she hired and fired so many times? And in my review, I was saying, girl, you're not going to tell me that you that pressed over a $9-10 an hour job working for wherever you was working at, when you could go anywhere over the city and get some type of entertainment or hot dog fast food chain job. I was just confused by it all, but that's the only thing that makes sense. And that explains why he tried to beat her to explaining their history. That would also explain why she was talking shit about him to Porsha. And both of them are acting out, I think, because they're nervous about if the other one is going to tell the other one, see, because Storm literally wants to be Porsha. And that's why Dennis knows he can talk to her crazy. He knows he can tell her to shut the F up, because he knows that she wants to be Porsha. And if I tell her, if I explain to her that, you really ain't got no loyalty to her, that's going to be the end of that. I see it. I see it now that you say that.
I mean, honestly, that's the reason why I feel like she would have, like, she can't say anything. Like, she would never tell Porsha that she fucked her baby daddy before, as soon, because I feel like she didn't know he was fucking with Porsha at first. And then she found out he was fucking with Porsha. And then it became all of that. But I think by that time, Porsha was probably head over heels. And you know how Porsha is and how Storm responds to Porsha. Whatever Porsha wants, that's what Storm is going to go along with. So Porsha is head over heels with Dennis. And now, because I mean, why would you keep hiring her back? Why is she so annoying? And she was such a terrible employee. Why did you keep hiring her over and over again?
And why would you keep coming back for a job if he was some creepy old dude when you could get a job anywhere else, like I said?
And the way I will always go back to the picture of him sitting at that table with all of them young girls around him. That nigga is going to flirt. When I saw Storm, I said, there's no way he did not flirt with her, let alone fuck her. I'm going to just say, there is no way he never made an advance on Storm. Storm is beautiful, petite, small. And if she was smiling and being cute and nice and showing her representative at first, Dennis definitely was going to try to fuck her. Because he comes off as the type of guy that fucks the waitresses in his restaurant. Does he not?
I saw one comment from TE, it says Storm says she's gay. I did peep whenever she was telling the story about the abuse. She said so that kind of let me know she was in a relationship with a female when she was talking about that. But I never took it as like she strictly dated females. I think she probably just
I'm about
like
to
men
tell
and women.
y'all. I'm like, oh, so you think she was just like gay, like a lesbian?
I don't think so.
Not the way she's talking about forming relationships with people. Everything she says to me sounds like I want clout. I'm trying to get these connections from this show. Like that's what it all sounds like to me. And the way her mama, girl, the way Darlene fell out, Jesus, girl, she didn't even touch you. The hug didn't even happen, and she was y'all.
Which is
Y'all,
my
whenever
reason why.
Darlene, whenever Darlene said, I'm sorry that I wasn't around because of business, it was giving me very much how Carly Red went in her daughter's life because of
I thought about that too.
business, because of music videos and men. So I was just
yeah.
like, what type of, I mean, I don't know what Miss Darlene was doing, but I'm like, what type of business was you doing? Because if you genuinely was working that hard, like you was working a regular old corporate job just to pay the bills, and you was coming home every night, then your daughter, I could see her daughter being less cold to her. But because her daughter is so cold, I'm like, something ain't right.
Ooh, you know what that made me think about? Darlene is the type of mama that allows her boyfriend, I'm sorry, y'all, to hunch on her fucking daughter. And when her daughter tells her your boyfriend is hunching on me, she argues you down and says that you just a fast tail girl trying to take her man from her or some shit. Even if you didn't say that, you may not believe it because the way everybody was coddling your girl, everybody coddled Storm, which made me feel like something has happened to Storm. And then when you think about the relationship between her and her mom, you that mad because your mama allowed somebody to do something to you. And y'all can't tell me that y'all don't see Darlene as one of those women that's, I'm all when I'm young, I'm hot in the puss. I'm always running after some man to come and save me and my kids. I drink, I do whatever, but all I'm trying to do is slide up under some man thinking that's gonna make me feel good about my lackluster, empty fucking life. And then I drop my daughter off by her grandmother's house or leave her at the house by herself for her to fend for herself. And if she really is 100% gay, because we could be wrong about her fucking with Dennis, but it feel the way to me. But if I'm wrong and she really did not fuck with Dennis, it would kind of make sense as to why she would be in relationships with women thereafter if somebody had done something to her growing up.
Wow.
I was
The
wondering
math
if
is
something happened to
math.
her because you're right about that coddling. Lauren was doing it and it bothered me because this ain't even your damn blood cousin or anything. This is Porsha cousin. And then Porsha was also doing it. I didn't like that, but that's a great point. I didn't even hear about her possibly being gay. I didn't even catch that, but I definitely wonder whether or not something happened to her when she was younger. And because her attitude is just too terrible. It's terrible.
And that's usually the people that things like that have happened to because they're angry. They're angry and especially with her mom. That's why, when they was like hug your mama, she was like, I'm about to fucking hug that lady. Get the fuck out of here. Because bitch, you wasn't what you needed to be for me. So why you want me to come and hug on you now? Like all of Porsha's mama side of the family, even Miss Diane, I'm sorry, but y'all all seem like flighty. Let me hurry up and grab hold to a man. Like as much as Mama Diane had her own daycare and her own business and took care of herself and all of that, she might be the strongest or the smartest of the sisters or something. But they all come off as ditzy, posturing, let me be sexy for a man, just fucked up though. You know what I'm talking about? Like there's a vibe to those types of women. I don't know why it screams late 80s, early 90s and velvet and kitten heels. But Freaknik. Look, who mama is this with the hard hairstyle and her ass out at the Freaknik? Mama Darlene. That's who it is. So is there anything else that y'all wanted to talk about with Porsha's family matters? I mean, the outside stuff was basically her coming out to say Dennis was gonna get at her about her and Pilar, and she's an amazing mother. She's a great mother, and don't play with her about her single motherhood and all of this type of stuff. I'm looking forward to whatever Dennis probably said. What y'all think?
Yeah, I feel like I wouldn't really classify Porsha as a single mom, knowing that she has an active father in that child's life, and she's actively co-parenting. But it gave me, as I was, reading the comments and all this, it sounded like she was trying to get ahead of the story of being.
Yes.
It
I don't know
was,
what.
yeah.
Yeah, she was trying to hurry up and go ahead and put that out there. I guess she wants to say that production is not making her look great, but I'm sure this is the same production that had you Housewives of Atlanta. So you pretty much gave them what you gave them, and it just doesn't look good on your part. I don't think they're trying to shape anything. So yeah, my moral of the thing is I feel like she was trying to get in front of the story by talking about Dennis, and Dennis haven't even commented yet. Hasn't even said anything. But you always talking about stuff being for Pilar, but you came out and you said it's about Pilar daddy. So it's just not adding up for me. But Pilar's daddy hasn't said anything about you.
Right.
It's not giving what she thought it was gonna give. She looking crazy. And now she mad about it.
Oh,
let me ask y'all this. Go ahead.
Another thing I wanted to highlight, she says at the bottom of her comment, like, the show is doing great and all of that stuff. Keep watching, keep talking. And I'm like, well, is it? Because it's being said that the views are going down, down, down. So are you also using this as a tactic as well to not only get ahead of the story, but possibly hype up the next episode to where people are going to try and tune in because you're now having a one-on-one beef, with your daddy.
Listen, I just heard Tisa Tell say Dennis is gonna file for custody. I hope he doesn't do that. Because even though, Porsha is acting like, like a 25-year-old, I feel like Porsha loves her daughter. And I don't think that Dennis has any right to take that baby out of Porsha's house so that he can put it in his mama's house. Because that's all he's gonna do. You're not gonna be there for that little girl every day like that. You're not. You're going to drop her off at Gina's house and then go about your business fucking on your work, and then you'll come back and take the baby shopping for toys she not gonna play with because babies don't need $500 toys and shit. But I don't think that's a good idea at all. Now let me ask y'all something before we go, because we are an hour and 43 minutes in. I did not want this to be that long, but somebody asked if we talked about Salt Lake City. And I kind of did want to ask y'all about the Mary Jenny situation, if y'all don't mind. Now, but if y'all ready to go, we can just save it for another time, girl.
I didn't watch this week.
Okay, so this week they had this tea party so Jenny could, teach them about pho and about Vietnamese cuisine and things of this nature. Mary comes in late with blonde streaks, and they're talking about how earlier in the episode they had Jenny playing in a little blonde wig. And I didn't hear like the yellow skin, Mary made a comment, "Oh, I love your slanted eyes." And I was like, okay, that's weird. But I thought she meant like her eyeliner or something. Like I wasn't thinking about her slanted eyes like that. And then she was like, well, yeah, she has that yellow tone to her skin. And I didn't even really think about that like that, because as a Black person, we often point out the undertones in our skin colors that may look good with certain hair colors. So you'll be like, yeah, she got that red undertone, she got that yellow undertone, and nobody feels a way about it. But apparently Jenny felt like it was like some racial shit for her to comment that her eyes were slanted and that, the yellow skin comment. I believe now, looking back on it, that Mary was being prejudiced, not racist, prejudiced, because she doesn't have, honestly, like, do y'all know many Black people that, are able to fuck over Asian people like that, like in a systematic way? I think not. So it's not racism. Remember, racism is a systematic thing. We're talking about bias and prejudices. I didn't perceive it that way, but now that I'm looking at it, I absolutely feel like that was her passive aggressive way of going at Jenny by pointing out that her eyes were slanted and her skin was yellow. And Jenny didn't say anything in the moment, but it's obvious that they're going to get into it later. And then Jenny also went off on her and told her that she could leave her little tea party if she going to sit there and lie to Jen about talking about her. Because girl, Mary sat there and act like she ain't never said nothing bad about Jen. She talked all that shit about Jen and then turned around and said, girl, I never said anything bad about you. Come here, baby girl. Come here, because you know how I am, baby girl. I said, not baby girl. Good night.
That was fake. When it comes to Jenny and Mary, At first, I didn't think it was that major of a deal to me. I didn't think so because I was like, I mean, if a white person was like, oh, I like your kiki hair, like I feel like I wouldn't like get like offended like right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't think it was that deep. But when somebody in my chat compared it to her talking about Heather being chubby, I said, okay, I got you. Definitely coming off as though it was passive, aggressive. But what I also feel is that if one of the white ladies would have said it, I do feel like Jeannie wouldn't have tripped. I think she would have just brushed by it and went on about her business. But it's because she really does not like Mary. It's one of those things where anything that you do is going to irritate me and make me feel away. And I'm going to call you out on every little thing. So that's what that crossed my mind as well. Like, was she wholeheartedly, truly offended? Or was it because Mary said it and she didn't like it?
I think it was a little bit of both. I haven't seen the episode, but I need to watch it. I feel like anytime you say something about an Asian person's eyes, like, no, not at all. I really be feeling some type of way whenever people say stuff about my hair, white people. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what hairstyle you're going to do. Oh my gosh, it's so cool how you can do so many different hairstyles.
It's just like Mary J. Blige.
Right, okay. So Mary knew what she was doing, but I think you're right, Jami. She probably took more offense to it than she would have because it was Mary. And Mary is very aware of things when it comes to race. That's why she bleaching her damn skin and why we see so many blotches. She's also very aware because she says, about the black people at 7-Eleven when she was talking to Jen a couple seasons ago, or last season. It's only been 2 seasons. So Mary knew what she was doing. She was trying to throw shade with it.
So would that be considered like school me, y'all, like a microaggression or something coming from Mary?
Absolutely.
Yes, it was a microaggression. However, I'm gonna tell y'all, I really don't like. I'm gonna be honest. When people compare it to black people, and you wouldn't like for somebody to say kinky hair, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, but the difference is, black people shit is unacceptable for everybody. Having eyes that mimic an Asian person's eyes is not always viewed as a negative, especially when you think about the way y'all go up for the biracial Blasian girls. Like, y'all go up for a brown skinned girl with Asian features. So when people act like it's the same thing, I'm like, I don't think it's the same thing. I really don't. But I also feel like Mary meant it in a bigoted, prejudiced way.
She did, and I think that word slanted was triggering. Slanted is usually what they say, or what else do they say about Asian eyes? They say something
That's
about
what I always heard.
That's
chingy.
it.
And somebody had to tell me that was offensive because you would just be like, oh, she has chingy eyes. But that would just mean you had like almond shaped eyes, and I would just start saying almond shaped as to not say that word. But I had never heard slanted before. I'm sorry. Nobody had, I've never heard anybody say slanted before.
I used to hear slanted all the time. I feel like slanted was the newer way to not say chinky. I used to hear slanted in school all the time. All the white kids used to say it to the Asian girls. And it would be irritating. And I know it's not the same as a black person, but I'm trying to think of a similar microaggression other than hair. The only thing I could think of is like if a white person was describing a black person and they would use the word wide when talking about your nose. Like wide is a trigger itself,
Oh, like, I love your wide nose. Like, the fuck?
Yes, yes.
But you've never heard any white person say that, though. See what I'm saying?
Never.
You know what I mean? I've never heard that, even though they go and mimic lips. I've never heard them say, oh, we love you black folks, big old lips, even though we want them. Like, I've never heard them vocalize any of our attributes besides the big ass thing. And a white woman had to do that in order for y'all to feel like that was a positive attribute. But nothing about black people is ever viewed as a positive attribute when it comes to our physical features. And I don't care what y'all are talking about. To me, in our culture, Asian people are seen or put on a pedestal in some way. Even though white people use those same tactics with them, I still feel like it's not the same because we're all living in the same society, and Asian people's facial features aren't seen as a negative in the same way that Black people's are, even though I understand that for them it is, because they do shit like go and get surgery so that their eyes will look, different than what they originally look like. So not to discount for what it feels like and what Mary meant, but I just often don't like when they compare it to Black things, because in society, Black is always the worst. So you can't really compare it, because no matter what, the Black part is always the worst part.
I agree, because they tend to be, and there's articles and studies on it. They tend to be the preferred minority. And I have to say, that's actually the reason why this Stop Asian Hate thing didn't pick up the way it did over the summer. Because y'all remember it was like Black Lives Matter picked up. But I feel like in a lot of ways, and this is don't take this as a blanketed statement, I have to say that, a lot of ways, Asian people do not like to associate themselves with the same struggle of other minorities, because they see themselves as more resilient, because like I said, a lot of times they tend to be the preferred minority. And I think that's why the Asian hate thing didn't pick up. And that's also why I think that Jenny probably would not have reacted to it the same way if it came from somebody other than Mary. It was a little bit of both.
I agree, though. I absolutely agree, because I think about the way she cursed Mary out when they were on that first ski trip, remember? And everybody just shut the fuck up. And it was like, who the fuck you talking to? Because you weren't talking to Lisa, because Lisa's your friend. So you had to just be talking to Mary. And then when Mary was like, don't talk to me, was like that, you like, don't tell me what to do. Like, I absolutely, and then I also feel like it was funny how when she was comparing herself to Jen, it was like, we're both minorities. But you never heard her make that same correlation to Mary. So I often feel like I'm not going to cap too hard because y'all don't like us either. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just kind of how it feels a lot of the time. No disrespect to y'all who don't feel that way, but Black people often, we feel very much the same towards Asian people as we do to white people a lot of the times. Like, we just got to make sure, because, some of y'all don't like us neither. Some of y'all hide y'all darker complected Asian family members from the countries that y'all from, especially out here, because, we have a large Vietnamese population in New Orleans. And that's all I grew up around was Vietnamese people. I had a Vietnamese girlfriend at one point, and I couldn't even really go to her house because her people, wouldn't have been accepting of her having a Black girlfriend, even though y'all sell seafood to us and live around us. And, because Black people and Asian people and, Vietnamese people, look, bundles, the hair stores, all of that shit. All of that shit. So it's like, it's crazy to me how they can be in our communities right next to us and still have this low key, like, disdain for us, as if we're not all here trying to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
I said something about that literally. Dang, it was just this week. I can't even remember how the conversation came about, but I literally was talking about the beauty supply store shit. Gosh, I hate that it's on the tip of my mind. I remember it later on.
Yeah. Oh, somebody said the hair store. Child, that's another thing. Like, we've also seen way too many times, like, Black people getting killed and hurt at stores and bodegas and hair stores and all of that shit. So for us, y'all are almost low-key triggering to us sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So, oh yeah, I saw Funky's video. Somebody it was talking about Funky went to a restaurant. I forgot the name of the restaurant, child. But it was yeah, you saw it. So basically, they had like got rid of all of the Black people on the little music thing, the jukebox. You couldn't request any Black people. And so he complained about it, and the owner was an Asian lady, and he says he doesn't think she knew about it. But I'm like, I don't know.
Shout out to people in the chat who know what I'm talking about. It was in my true crime documentary review. I was talking about how.
Go ahead, because I was watching it. So tell me what you mean.
Yes, that I'm so glad they remember better than I do. So in the documentary, you know how we talk about model minority and how a lot of immigrants don't like to align themselves with the same struggle as Black people. Right. It was a guy in the documentary and he owned the corner store where a lot of the women were being missing and murdered. And when it came to the killer, he said that he felt like the killer was doing a favor because he was cleaning up trash.
Exactly.
So he didn't have the same sympathy for those Black women, not knowing that systemically, drugs were placed in their neighborhoods for them to be that way, but they don't want to align themselves with the struggle, often because they don't know the history of things that happen in the U.S. So yeah, that's how I was
they're
talking
lied
about
to
that.
upon entry. Didn't we also talk about the tape that they show to African people when they come into the country so that they don't align themselves with African American people?
told me that out their mouth. Yep.
What? No,
Yes.
I've never heard of that before.
When
They
go
showed them
through
a videotape.
immigration, they show them a videotape that basically depicts African American people as, you know, all the stereotypes. We're lazy, we live off the government and all of that shit. And so it already gives them a sense that we're not working as hard as they are to get here. And if you notice, that's the vibe that they give. Like, y'all don't know what y'all have, and y'all don't appreciate, basically telling Black people who've been here dealing with this shit all these years that we don't appreciate what the white man has given to us. And that's because that's what they tell them upon entry. And it's so funny because I forgot who I was watching, but they were basically saying that men come here more than women from Africa because the women are still going to naturally gravitate towards Black men. So even if they come here, a lot of African women are not going to want to try to procreate and marry white men. But African men will absolutely come to America and want to procreate and marry white women. So it will keep them from it keeps us separated, because that's what's best. Because y'all know that's the biggest thing, is to keep Africans and African American people and everybody else that's Black in the diaspora from seeing each other as one. Because then if we did that, it would be harder to control everybody. But you divide and conquer. You make the Africans feel like they're better than us. You make us feel like we're better than them by making us think that there's no running water anywhere in Africa and shit, and that everybody's sitting in the dirt with flies on them and you know, big old bellies and all of this, when you know good goddamn well that South Africa is a metropolis. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
I'm gonna have to find that video. I want to see it. I'm seeing some people in the comments are saying that they have heard of it, specifically from their family members, and a few people are saying they haven't. But I believe it. I want to see it.
To Caribbean immigrants, and you know, I mean, honestly, I ain't gonna call no names, but there are some Caribbean people on YouTube that very much have a feeling like they are better than the African Americans that are here now. Like, it's always, you know, the way, you know, the way we talk, or the way we do this, or the way we do that is just so beneath, and you know, it's so gutter, versus the hardworking, you know, Caribbean people, or the hardworking, you know, African people. But us, you know, us African Americans, oh, we just the lazy ones. When we know good and goddamn well this whole country is built off our backs. And honestly, I think it's hilarious that those people feel that way, because y'all don't even own y'all own land like that. Like, and I'm gonna say that, you know, it's no tea, no shade, but in Africa, y'all don't even own y'all land like that. Africa has been bought up by everybody but y'all. And then when you go to the Caribbean, a lot of y'all don't own that shit neither. So it's just funny to me how they feel like they're better than us when they come here. And when you look at it, it's like, well, what have y'all done in the spaces where y'all live? Because y'all are coming here and then telling us that we ain't shit. Like, we ain't even, you know, like, this place isn't what it is because of us. Like, let's be real. America is as good as it is because Black people have been, you know, scratching and surviving good times this whole fucking time for free. So, you know, there's that. All benefiting, all while benefiting from African American fight for equality. That's another thing that people was referring to, was like the civil rights movement. Even the Vietnamese and the Asian people that come into the country and are able to get those loans to buy stores in our neighborhoods, but we can't get loans to open stores in our neighborhoods. But they get them through the same civil rights movement and the things that were put in place for us. Child, it's a lot. This conversation, y'all know how we always end up going somewhere deep where we ain't mean to go. But
that's because it's always much deeper than that with this. And that's what I like about reviewing the reality shows, because it's always much deeper than what we seeing on TV. Go back. Everything has a history and a reason for the way it play out. Every person has a history too.
we share that love of like paying attention to the pattern in people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what I noticed a lot. That's how you know that tape shit and what they say during immigration must be real, because you do notice that same kind of attitude from so many other black people in the the diaspora. But anyway, y'all, that's all I got. Went on longer than I meant it to, but 2 hours, child. I hope y'all
all good.
enjoyed. Ladies, I hope y'all enjoyed as well.
Yes.
Good combos. I missed y'all. It kind of felt like I don't think I can go like 2 whole weeks without talking to them about something face to face. So like, I'm
Right.
glad, even though Jay Lee couldn't make it, she was in the comments. And I'm glad that y'all were able to make it short notice. So thank y'all so much for this. I appreciate it. Y'all make sure y'all check out everybody's channel. Also, me and Jamie were talking about selling Tampa today on her channel. So y'all should check that out. Do I still have no, this is the right one. Okay. Follow everybody. Ladies First Panel on Instagram, and email us OohLadiesFirstPanel@gmail if you got tea. Okay. Y'all want spread tea to us. And then come with receipts. Don't just be spreading shit to us, because we ain't gonna believe it if it ain't coming with receipts.
All right.
Receipts. And then one more thing. For me, I started that documentary series and true crime series on my channel. I really want to drop something over the holiday. So
Please do.
Y'all give me
watch it.
recommendations for what we should talk about next. Head over Instagram, everything else, and let me know what documentaries y'all want to talk about next.
Are you not gonna do one on the way down since you talked about it, kind of?
The way down really didn't impress me. I feel like there's much better documentaries to talk about. It was crazy, but I feel like it just finished. It just left unfinished, and I'm just like, we can talk about something better than that.
137 shots on Netflix is good. It's triggering as fuck, but
137 what?
137 shots.
Oh, girl,
you saw it.
See, this
it's
why I
gonna
don't
sound
watch
real
some
weird
stuff.
to say this. Generally, I found that I don't prefer to watch Black trauma documentaries or like social justice where people have been in jail for a long time. I prefer the weird shit like
crazy white
the All-American. The All-American stuff. Yeah. Yeah. But
we
my
love
part, like,
watching Middle
I had to
America
do
kill
it.
each other in terrible ways.
Do Phoenix Coding. Oh no!
Yes,
she kind of had a documentary, but
somebody said LuLaRoe.
I watched it.
That's the one on Prime. This is the one on Prime, right? LuLaRoe.
That's not on Prime. That's on Pyramid Schemes. Phoenix had
the
one.
Phoenix one is
it was
cool.
like a series. Yeah.
Okay.
I watched it. Yeah, I watched it. I think she's still out there. What you think?
Me too. I believe she's still. I had to ask. We'll talk about it offline, but just know I had to ask somebody, and they said she's still out there.
You asked somebody.
Thank you guys so much for joining the Ladies First Panel. We appreciate you guys. Yes, this is awesome. God bless y'all.
Okay, well, listen,
Happy
Jamie just
holidays,
wrapped it up.
Christmas.
Listen, Jamie wrapped it up.
Love
y'all have a
y'all.
good night. Peace out.